Hi, everybody. This is Denise Imbesi. Nice to see everybody. CEO and founder of Muscle Mix Music. And coming in here in our monthly matcha tea time. I've got my tea ready to go. Probably forgot to tell you that one, Leslie. But, and this is real tea, by the way. This is matcha. I have had guests who've said, is Long Island iced tea okay? And I'm like, hey, you do you, whatever works. Anyway, every month we come out and I interview like-minded professionals who are in the industry, thought leaders, people who have made an impact in the industry, who have stuff to say to fitness professionals that can help you in your daily classes, whether they're in person, virtual, or whatnot. And we've had some really great feedback from it, and everybody's been really enjoying all the guests that we have. So today I'm proud to announce that I have my friend, Leslee Bender. I'm going to give you a little bio, Leslie, and if you want to add to it, please go ahead. Now, Leslie is one of those boss babes. Am I allowed to say that? You just really, you get stuff done, man. You are a go-getter. She has ACSM, NASM, FAFS, PMA, international speaker and presenter for IDEA, also a 2020 IDEA recipient of Personal Trainer of the Year. She is the creator of the Bender Ball method, and I think everybody knows Bender Ball, of Safer Core Training, 2007 Fitness Commercial of the Year. I didn't know that part. She's a co-creator of Bar Above and co-author of Bar with Pilates Focus. She is the educational director of Ageless Now Academy, which I can't wait to talk about. Co-author of I Am Ageless Now, and has been in the industry for over 3 decades, dedicating her life to helping others live a healthy, pain-free life. She is also, in her free time, a competitive? I didn't know that. Water skier and equestrian, presently living in Reno, Nevada as a consultant for Sports West Athletic Club. Did I miss anything?
No, you did not. Thank you. Gosh, I can't believe I do all that stuff. But there's a saying that says, when you love your work, it's not work, it's joy.
That is so true. That is
right?
so true. And you do love what you do, don't you?
I do.
You can tell.
I've been in it for so long that the club I teach and I consult here in Reno, I was watching the aerobics fitness class, and the teacher is a former professional dancer for Hello Hollywood Hello, which I auditioned for, and that was years and years and years ago. And what's so incredible, Denise, is that when I look down in this room, there are probably at least 15 women that are still dancing around that were there when I was 30 years ago. Biggest change is, thank goodness, we're not wearing G-strings anymore on the outside of our spandex. But to see, people still enjoying aerobics and still enjoying fitness is just warms my heart, because I think movement and music are, a manifestation of joy, and the two just go so hand in hand. And that's, you guys create such great music that it motivates people to move. Right?
Well, absolutely. And you said that about joy, and they've said that it increases both music and movement, increases your serotonin levels in your brain, and in some cases can actually get you out of a funk. If you're depressed or you're having a bad day. I know, for me anyway, when I turn on a song that I love, I could just be in the worst mood, and it just changes everything.
That's
so you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So true. And I think music is everything, no matter what the genre is that one teaches. From more mind body, that you have more of a background music that doesn't necessarily have vocals to it, to vocals that people want to sing along to. So you've been doing it a long time too.
I know. Well, actually, now that we're talking about that, I would like to know this. I don't know this. How did you get started in fitness, and what led you to the Bender Ball and the success with that?
Great question. I actually, I got my degree in business here at the University of Nevada, Reno, and then I minored in health ecology. And I did not love the work that I was doing because it was business related. And I went and took an aerobics class at an aerobics studio here in Reno. It was, and you couldn't even get into classes. It was so jam packed back then. I was hooked. And
Yeah.
having a strong dance background just inspired me to get into it. And of course, back then there wasn't anything called safety or biomechanics. It was
No.
just like throw the music on and go hard
And go for it. Yeah.
and go for it. And sadly, we still kind of do that today in some instances.
Sometimes. Yeah.
But with that being said, that's how I really got into it. And then to speed things up a bit is I got a job offer in Europe. So I moved to Germany, and that's where my presenting career really took off. I worked for a company called Body Life, and we had massively big conferences back then, as big as I
I
did.
remember them. I remember them.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I know one of my classes, I think there was probably close to 1,000 people in it. And that was, again, back when it was all step and choreography and things of this nature. But there's a sense of, what do I want to say? Endorphins kick in and euphoria when you have an opportunity to present like that. And then when I came back to the United States, I opened a club here, actually in Reno. I lived in LA for a while, but then I really started getting into the mind body. That shifted into more of the Gray Institute and functional training. But I brought a small blue ball into the Pilates world in the year 2000. And I was the first to do it. And that's when I got discovered in about 2006 at the IDEA conference by the owner of Xavier Fitness that said, what do you do with that small ball? Because I have a booth. And that's brilliant. No one is using a small ball.
No one was doing a ball. Yeah, I remember that. Nobody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so needless to say, we just we sold millions of them. But for me, more than anything, Denise, it is how many people have come up to me every time that they've used it. And I will point out, use it correctly. I see it used a lot of ways that can actually hurt the low back because it's not being used correctly. But when it's placed behind the low back correctly, it protects the back, and then the activation of our muscles is exponentially higher. So that's, for me, when people say my back doesn't hurt anymore and my core is stronger, I'm like, I've done my job. So
that's really amazing. And what made you think about that ball? Were you involved in physical therapy or anything like that? Like, were you exposed to things?
I hurt my back going through classical Pilates training in New York. That's where I got my first education of Pilates. And I came back and my back was in agony. And I had to, a few weeks after that, I had to go to Europe and teach in Germany again. And there was a company there called the Overball. They have other products. And I grabbed the ball and I started playing with it, and I put it behind my back, and that was it. It was like, this is the solution to Pilates training, because I felt it, and it was just intuitive that using a small ball is similar to what Pilates used, the spine corrector. And so much of Pilates exercise is all flexion, and we live in flexion today. So for me, when I see so much flexion and crunching being done, in classes, it's like, we got to stop doing it, because really flexion is the spine's enemy.
It sure is. Wow, very interesting. I always wondered about that, but
it's had a long history. It was blue, then it was red, and now it's green.
Now it's green. All right. Well, fast forward to, first of all, we're going to talk about your wonderful new Ageless. I love that name, by the way. I am Ageless, just Ageless in general. But before we get to that, what did you, Leslee Bender, do during the pandemic? How has the industry changed since then for you that you've seen?
Well, I think we've all shifted, and we're doing it right now. We're having a virtual conversation with, those that are watching, right? And I think in many ways, for me, I shifted, and it taught me how to do something that is not in my comfort zone, and that is be able to navigate the camera, the music, the background, and how to teach virtually. But I jumped into it right away. The minute the
I know.
pandemic
I
hit,
saw
I
that.
thought I'm going to jump into it. And I feel
Good for you.
the good and bad about it is like I did a training last weekend and we had over 40 people attending, and the beauty of it is we can still deliver a really good education to people all over the country that might live in an area that going to
Yeah.
a live event is cost prohibitive, or time wise,
Yeah.
as to where I think it's like all these people that are working from home now and they're
Yeah.
working virtually. I think the bad thing is, though, in our industry is we truly have to be able to correct people's alignment, and that
Yeah,
is
I
a
agree.
challenge, a big challenge virtually. If
Yeah.
you're teaching to like 15 people and they're all in little tiny squares, you can't see their alignment. So
Yeah.
our cueing has to be much, much better, both visually and verbally. And
That
so
is so true.
our
That is
our
so
words
true.
are our words really
Yeah.
putting our people in alignment, because I've talked to lots of people that have had back injuries because they've been doing these workouts online, and it's not their fault, they just aren't getting corrected. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
No.
that's a conundrum, but I will say that we are starting to see a lot of people come back into health clubs now. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
for
busy,
sure.
like COVID
For
never
sure.
happened.
Yeah,
So
for sure. So let's talk about Ageless Now. And I know that I believe you created this several years ago, right? And then just now
actually,
taking it into
not
an academy. No? Tell
yeah,
me.
well, originally, it was very grassroots and organic.
Okay.
Melody Marlowe, who is a published author, and I got together and came up with this, and I knew that she was a writer, and I've been wanting to write a book for a long time now.
Okay.
And so, with that being said, we partnered originally on authoring this book, which we did,
That's right. That's
and
right. I remember
then
that.
it's morphed into a training and an education now.
That's
And
great.
IDEA brought it on. IDEA has done incredibly well with it as an online program.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. And
So how could you describe it I mean, these are fitness professionals watching. So if a fitness professional comes up to you and says, what is it? What kind of a program
great
is it?
question.
How would you
Ageless
describe it?
Now is a unique method of blending nutrition, movement, mantras, and myofascial release.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah,
Wow.
so each workout or each training or program that you do, for example, you leave feeling different, and it allows people to have better mobility, stability, core strength,
Mm.
and feel different things in their body. And so much of our emotion, as we all know, is attached to our bodies. So if we're experiencing pain, learning how to move through that mindfully, mantras and the myofascial release. So it's
Wow, I
always
didn't know.
combining these facets into
Right.
every program that you do. And it's interesting because Ageless is now getting used all over our industry. But honestly, I
Haven't
think
seen it.
we were the first to launch that word. And
Yep.
you
No,
know,
I love it.
and it doesn't matter where someone is chronologically, Denise. And so much of this comes out of
Hmm.
all the years of training back 30 years ago when I didn't know any better, and I was destroying my body because I think I thought I had to look a certain way, and that
Yeah.
hasn't changed, unfortunately, and it led me to a knee replacement. So
Mm.
I'm very passionate about safety and why we're doing the
I know you are.
exercises that we're doing, because I see a lot done wrong. And
Yeah.
for me, it's kind of like we don't need to do that to our bodies,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you have to fast forward yourself and say, how am I going to feel in 10 years from now?
Yeah. That's true.
Am I
And
still going to be able to
Leslie,
do the things I do, right?
yeah, and I think that is your superpower. You just said it, that you are very passionate about safety. And that's why I love what you do, because you're very rare in that. Not everybody comes across, with teaching group fitness of any kind or any kind of program, with that being the number one, intent, as opposed to just performing or everybody having a good time. there's nothing wrong with that either, but
Right.
that seems to be what your niche is, teaching
No,
people sort of the science behind it. Am I right?
yeah, I mean, you can still have such a good time, but I think
Yeah,
it's our responsibility as trainers that if we're going to have somebody do an exercise, is allow them to feel it in their body for a moment.
yeah,
And if they're
yeah,
not in the right alignment, you pull back, you get them in the right alignment, and then you move on, and then you can have as
I
much
agree.
fun. It's look at it as like almost like a competitive sport that,
Yeah,
if let's say an ice skater, they're trying to land that triple toe loop. They're going to do it over and over and over and over again until they perfect it,
that's
and
right.
yes, they're going to crash and burn on the ice, but that muscle memory of how to articulate a movement correctly is
Uh-huh.
something that we don't do in our industry enough of.
Yeah,
And I watch trainers in the gym that are like on their cell phone and they're not watching their client's alignment, or they're having them do something that they shouldn't be doing. And
yeah.
this is one of the things I like to say. Are we part of the cause of people getting injured, or can we be the solution for people to being healthy? I want to be the
Hmm.
solution. I don't want to be the cause of
Right.
hurting somebody.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you pointed that out about the repeating of a movement till you get it right, or a muscle memory, like you said about the ice skater. Because I did notice that when I personally started doing yoga years ago, an Ashtanga class, it was the same movement over and over again. I loved it because it could click into my brain and I can really perfect it. But
Yeah.
I do notice that instructors, of course, because we sell music, they want new music every single class, which means they want new moves every single class. But then that does not so good all the time because they don't get to lock it into their memory, like you're saying, right?
I think I would love to see a lecture and for somebody to come out with a program, the art of teaching, the
Yeah,
art of teaching, because
so true.
you can be a motivator, but you can
Yeah,
also be an educator. And there's
yeah.
that line of, I look at my profession is a very selfless profession. I
Hmm.
don't get in front of a class because it's all about me. I'm in front of
Right.
people to make their lives better. So
Yeah,
uh, when we step out of our own ego and say, it's not about
yeah.
how I look. I mean, I don't walk around in the grocery store in a bikini, for goodness sakes. I mean, good for you if you do, but
Yeah.
trainers that are obsessed with how they look should really
Mm.
step back and go, why am I in this industry? And it's uh, ultimately we need to be healthy, but we don't need
Yeah,
to be perfect, right?
yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So how can we teach a safety method of training for those that are coming to the gym? Because I just learned recently, I was talking to somebody who owns a gym chain, that a lot of new people, I think it was in Canada, are coming to the gyms who were not there before.
Yeah.
They didn't even exercise. Either they didn't exercise, they stopped exercising during COVID and then are coming back, or they never exercise. They're coming, either coming back to clubs or they're coming for the first time. So how do you, I guess in your program, Ageless Now, you teach that, I would imagine, how to
Oh yeah.
handle the different levels
Our,
of
our trainers
skill?
lead critical thinking trainers. So
Mm,
whether it's small group training or one-on-one training, is to be able to really analyze your clients when they walk in, and in the warm-up, it's our opportunity to face our class, do the warm-up, and notice how
yep,
people are moving, because to
yep,
me, that's our golden opportunity to create what those students need for that particular hour that they're with us. I
yeah,
mean, I just got done teaching now, and it was a Pilates class, and they were all kind of subdued and I don't know, middle of the week or whatever the case may be. So I pulled back and I really worked on breathing and
yeah.
alignment and form, as to where sometimes they come in and they're revved up and they're ready for a harder workout. But again, that comes with experience, is
Yeah,
reading your students, figuring out, if they're kind of tired and if they're coming off of something that
yeah.
they don't have a lot of energy, that's how you get hurt. And you're
That's
still motivating
amazing.
them because
Yeah,
they showed up, but it doesn't
yeah.
mean like, come on, suck it up, do
Right,
it. Get that
right,
boot
right,
camp
right, right.
mentality.
Yeah, no. I love that. I love that you said that because therein lies the reason why someone like a Leslee Bender is a true professional. It shows, like you said, it shows experience. It shows that you're right. During the warm up is when you're like scanning the crowd, because if you approach it as if I'm saying this and I'm doing this, no matter who's in there, it doesn't work,
Mm-mm. And it
or
just
it
comes
works
with
for some people.
experience,
Yeah, that comes with experience. Yeah.
and you just have to embrace that
Yeah. I love that.
takes time to learn, but it's the responsibility of our educational system to apply that. Make sense?
That's a good reminder. So tell us, what is the Ageless Now Academy? Let's jump into, because Ageless Now is the program, and I would imagine you could get, I'm going to guess, you get certified for a
Yes,
day of training.
we
Okay,
offer live, virtual, and we have the online program through IDEA. The trainer walks
great.
away with CECs for ACE, AFA, NASM, and they can petition
Nice.
further. And the trainer leaves with the I'm Ageless Now foundational program. So
Okay.
you've got an exercise library, you have the tools and techniques to administer either to small group or one-on-one, whatever your genre is. And what we are launching, most likely the end of this month, because we're just getting them all in the can right now, will be our Ageless Now Studio. And our Ageless Now Studio will be
What's
a monthly membership. So every month they get 4 workouts. And by the way, of course, we're using, Muscle Mix's music. And so the trainer, our goal is when clients come and say, oh, I loved, so-and-so's class, how do I continue? Like, for example, we have some classes that we run at Marriott Vacation in Orlando. And so our goal is so the trainer can leave and say, it's okay, Mrs. Jones, you can go onto the website and become a member of our program, because it really is more consumer based than it's trainer, but the trainer can watch the video, get great ideas, because each program has its unique modality of myofascial movement, and modules unique to anything that's out on the market today.
Oh, awesome.
So that's the academy that we, will be at IDEA, and looking forward to seeing, everyone that's going to be at IDEA and joining us. But really the program is designed so anyone can do it anywhere, anytime. I mean, at the end of the day, you need a bender ball, a tennis ball, and paper plates or gliding discs, a chair. Really simple equipment. Yeah.
And what will you be doing at the Idea World Convention, which is coming up next week in Las Vegas?
I know, our first live
so
event.
Excited.
I'm teaching Ageless Abs, which is going to be a fantastic workout, and then workshop, I should say. And then we are doing great glutes for a functional body. And then I'm co-presenting Alignment Redesign with Kelly Roberts, another icon in this industry.
Absolutely.
And, and so
and you'll have a booth, right?
Yeah,
you'll have a booth.
Yes.
So, now, are you doing a certification there or no?
We're not. Sadly, we're not. We didn't get brought in for a pre-con. However, because we are partnered with IDEA, we will be talking about that anyone can get a 30% off for the online training through IDEA. And what's nice about the online training is you can go at your own pace and your own leisure, rather than like, okay, I'm in it now and I've got to do it. And I like both. Sometimes I want to be in person. I want to be with you and take a training, or it's like, this is so intense, I want to take my time.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this then. If I'm an instructor, what would be my motivation, or how would I add your program into my mix of what I teach? Like, why would I add that in? You said it's ageless, so is it something that would appeal to a Gen Z as well as a boomer? Or
because you can intensify it as much as you want, and you can add the exercises into, let's say you're doing a strength training class, whatever the case may be. Adding in this programming will ultimately give your clients the ability, like I said, to live more pain-free, more functional, all these different. And the beauty of it is I don't I never want a trainer to feel like they have to memorize choreography. I'd rather them to
Okay,
walk away and understand movement. So here are your
gotcha.
base movements. This is how you tweak it. You tweak it with music. You tweak it with a tool, uh, and I- and
I
that's what
see.
and that's what people get through our monthly subscription as well. Is they
Gotcha.
can watch it and go, this is similar to the one that she did last week. However, wow, she added a bender ball to it, and it feels totally different.
So what you're doing, what this program is, if I understand correctly, is sort of a foundation. I mean, is that right? Is that a good way of saying it?
Yes,
It's a foundation to do
the
other
full,
things,
yep, the
sort of?
full day training is a foundational level course. It would be like taking a yoga level 1, and then you start to
Okay,
build on it. And
then
next
you
year
build
we'll
on
be
it,
launching different levels, but
different
we're
levels.
bringing on a
Awesome.
couple of really key trainers that are going to be developing programs for us for next
Awesome.
year and in this fall. That, and you're only as strong as your team, right? And everyone
Hmm.
has their specialties, uh,
Yeah.
like aqua, and we're working with a gal in Florida for the aqua section of it. And
Hmm.
aqua's not, I like going fast on the water, but I'm not an aqua instructor, so
Okay.
I don't believe fake it till you make it. You
Right.
find who is going to be who's
The
going to be
experts.
your right-hand person for different programs. And those are going to be coming up from yoga to PT to
Awesome.
aqua and things of that nature. Yeah.
All right. Well, I love this. And we are so excited that we could be working with you on
Me
this
too.
and partnering with you. And we can't wait to expand on that. I know that you're in the US and Canada at the moment, but I'm sure it will go global very quickly. Very, very happy for you, Leslie. This is great.
Thank
Really
you so
excited.
much. Thank you for having me. And those that are watching, we do have an album with you. So
Yes, we do. And
it's
you
my
can go to
mix.
musclemix.com,
Yep.
musclemixes.com. Yeah. You know what we'll do is we'll put in what's the web address for Ageless Now? Is it agelessnow.com?
Yeah, I am agelessnow.com.
I am agelessnow.com. Okay. So they could find all that information. We'll type it in the bottom of this so that people see it. And if you
Awesome.
are if you do come to the IDEA convention, please come to Leslie's booth.
Yep,
We'll be there
Ageless
as
Now
well.
Academy. Yep.
Ageless Now Academy booth. Very
You'll
exciting.
be there. I'll be there. We're gonna have a great time there. We'll be in person. We've got some giveaways.
Oh,
Yeah, we've
nice.
got some real cute stuff. I can't tell you what it is.
Okay.
Waiting for it to show up. I don't want to say, yeah, we're gonna have this, and
Yeah,
then
don't say it.
you know how shipping is right now. So,
I know.
but we
We're very excited.
we'll have some great promotions on our training and on music for you. And also, again, I've authored a book with Melody Marlar, and we'll have our books for sale there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you. Thanks again for joining us. And
Thank you
we'll
so
see you
much.
next time. All
All
right.
right.
You take
Thank
care.
you. Enjoy your tea.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.